Woo! You know what? Welcome to Drinking Buddies, my friends. I am so slacking. This is the first episode that we've had back since we started Drinking Buddies. Like we started Drinking Buddies probably about, I don't know, 8 or 9 months ago, and it was awesome, and we had a ton of fun. And then about 6 months ago, Ronell got so damn busy that I decided to put Drinking Buddies on the shelf, even though we were having such a good time. And now we're back. We did our first episode back last week. Now this is our second episode, but I'm slacking and I got to step my game up. There's just people expect so much of me and I'm not giving you people enough production value. We got to get it up. I need some intro music. Roy, that was bad. I got to bring you intro music. So we're going to keep refining this thing and making sure that we take the production values up that much higher. But for those of you guys, before I introduce my buddy today, for those of you guys that watch that listen to the podcast, that watch all the content, you know what to expect. We are going to take all this wonderful content and we're going to be putting it exclusively on the Business and Bourbon Network when we roll out the new network next month. It's going to be amazing, and only our closest friends and network folks are going to have access to all this great content. Great influencers, great business leaders coming on and educating and just sharing nuggets of wisdom. Okay, with that said, welcome to Drinking Buddies. I am Ronell Richards. For those of you that do not know, today I have my buddy Roy Kowarski, all the way from, Roy, where are you at?
Sydney, Australia, mate.
Sydney, mate. I can't get away with saying mate. I can't get it. It just doesn't come right out of my mouth, but I want to so bad. Cheers, Roy. Welcome into the Drinking Buddies show, my friend. So usually, Roy, at this point, I'm saying, hey, what are you drinking? But Roy, what time is it for you?
It is 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, so that might be a little bit early for a cocktail.
But I might say that that at the moment I'm thinking in terms of Chivas Regal Blue. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's on the mind. Well, I'm going to drink for the both of us. So, guys, this is what I'm drinking. We always do Drinking Buddies at cocktail hour. This is a time for me to hang out with one of my buddies, have a good time, and share some business advice and direction for you guys. I'm super excited about having Roy because Roy is such an innovative marketer, and I love his eye. I love the way he thinks. Like Roy and I have had great in-depth conversations about marketing and business and life, and so I was super stoked to have Roy on and have him sharing some stuff. So Roy, I'm drinking for the both of us, guys. Today I'm drinking a hot toddy, and it's because I got a little bit of a sore throat, and I've got some old granddad Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey in my so I'm going. This is something that my South African Australian friend can appreciate, and a little bit of tea, but I got some American bourbon whiskey in there.
Here we go.
Oh, and a cinnamon stick. See that?
Oh, beautiful.
So, Roy, as we get started, first and foremost, I always like to introduce the audience to who we have on, because it's kind of like, this is like a first date, man. It's kind of like a first date for you and them. So I want them to know who you are, know a little bit about what it is that you do. So first and foremost, Roy, who are you?
That's how long is a piece of string?
That's a big beefy question, right? No, but in all seriousness, so where are you from?
Well, I'm from Sydney, Australia, originally from South Africa, as you can hear some part of my accent. And I suppose, who am I? I suppose my main ethos is that I get pleasure out of helping other people.
Yeah.
And I suppose that probably, it goes back a long way. I think I've told you the story before. I'm not going to repeat it, but it's like a part of my soul just gets that joy when I'm giving whatever it might be. And it doesn't have to be material, as we've spoken about before. So
Roy, where does that come from? And why is it? See, I know you, and that's why we vibe so well, because I know that's not bullshit. But a lot of people out there use that sort of thing as it's just bullshit. It's something they say, but they don't really believe, right? Where does that come from you? Like, how did it start?
Okay, well, that's probably a really good good starting point. So when I was in my sort of late 20s, we were involved in some service work, charity work, and we took away some underprivileged children for a weekend, and we went down to the beach, and this youngish girl, she must have been 11, 12, 13 maybe. I saw the look in her eyes when she saw the sea. And I said to her, what is it? She said, I have never seen the sea before. And the look in her eyes of just the gratitude and the joy, it just melted my heart. And I said to myself right at that day, while I was standing in front of her, to myself, I said, if this is what the feeling of giving is, I want to replicate this for the rest of my life. And I have let that filter through from my personal life into my business life. Wow. So if it kind of makes sense, that feeling that you have, that warm, fuzzy feeling of joy to see somebody else that is happy because of you, that's gold for me. And that's where it came from. And I haven't stopped since then. It's many years ago.
So is that about you or about them?
Well, I think that it's about me getting the pleasure of giving to somebody else. Uh-huh. So it's a combination of them getting and receiving and me getting pleasure by giving.
Yeah. All right.
So it's not about me and it's not about them. It's a combination of me doing something that gets a result for somebody else, that I get pleasure by seeing their appreciation and their gratefulness for whatever it might be.
How's that translated to your business?
Okay, so that's probably an explanation that I can easily articulate, and that is, if somebody comes to me, and as I say, I call myself a customer engagement strategist. And it's all about engaging with customers. Yeah. So if somebody comes to me and says, look, we want to do this and we're thinking about doing this, and can you help us with this? My energy and my passion and my enthusiasm and my inspiration to put something together allows me to see their reaction. Yeah. And the reaction that I get, if it is, and 99.9 times, I'm very grateful to say, I get the reaction to say, wow, you've taken it to another level. But now I don't see that as the next level. I see that as normality. Mm-hmm. I see that's what everybody does. Wrong. I am wrong, because not everybody does that. So what I thought was just normal behavior is actually different, exceptional behavior. Because if you just do the job because you want to get a job done, it's very, very and vastly different to doing a job and throwing your passion and your enthusiasm and then seeing the reaction that you get from that. So that's how I've transcended it into my business.
So would you consider yourself kind of service first, service oriented? Like it's because
absolutely.
Okay.
At the beginning of last year, I sat my team down at Out There Branding, and I call them team OTB, Out There Branding, and I said to them, what we have to do is we have to change the experience that we're giving our customers into a world-class platinum experience. So yes, it's all about that experience. And
What a great
if you take it,
Roy, that is where, in my opinion, so many folks get it wrong. It's they're not focused on their customer experience. We're thinking too much about profit margins. We're thinking too much about the dollars and cents of everything. If you focus on customer experience, you focus on those on the customer outcomes. You'll gain. First of all, you'll gain an advocate for your business. So they're going to stay around for a long time. You'll make more money because you'll be able to charge premiums because of the level of service that you're giving. But I think like when we're in this kind of this tech world that we're in right now, everyone like defaults to price as being value, right? Because we're in the Amazon world. Like, okay, everything's at a fingertip. So whatever it is I'm doing, I got to be less than the other guy instead of being more focused, to your point, on providing service and providing a platinum level service. I like that. Like my hat. By the way, do you like my hat?
I love your hat. I'm so sorry that I never mentioned earlier. When I saw you, I wanted to say to you straight away, such a cool hat. Absolutely love it.
It's a little chilly here in Atlanta, so I thought I'd rock the hat on MLK Day.
Yeah, and
All
I
right,
love
so my next question for you. What do you like?
I like whiskey. I love sport.
What kind of sport?
I like golf. I like football. I like soccer. I'm literally across the board. Tennis. I've grown up in a sport environment, so I've always loved sport.
Okay, so whenever I'm talking to someone outside of the U.S., now you said football and then you said soccer, so thank you for us Americans. Made the decision.
That's what I tried to do. Was I tried to to talk to your audience as well, because if I said football, football is one meaning in the United, US, one meaning in the UK, one meaning in Australia, one meaning in South Africa. So
that was my question. So football, you got Australian rules football in Australia, which is pretty intense. I've seen it's intense. Okay, so back to our football here in the US. You have a team you pull for, a team that you like, or players that you like?
Not really, because I don't know it well enough.
Yeah.
But I sort of keep my eye on it. I can see that there's when I came to Australia, I hadn't followed rugby league before. So I can see that once you start to follow a sport, it's very easy to get into it. So I don't profess to know much about football in the US.
Here in the US, it is religion, and you better pick a side. First of all, everything in the US is pretty polarizing right now, right? Why would our sports be in any different? Like, you pick a side. You better pick a side. You better pick a team, and you're going to ride or die with that team. That's the way that it is in sports and everything, right, people? Everything right now. Can we ease up on that? Okay, what's Roy? What are you guys thinking about us over here? I mean, you guys are. I'm always, whenever I talk to my friends outside the U.S., I always want to know, like, you see the things, you get news, BBC, whatever that you're watching, what's going on in our country, and I'm always curious as to what the perspective is. Like, what do you think? What do you think's going on over here? How do you feel about things that are going on over here or in the news? Like, how does that, or do you at all? Is it just like, whatever, I'm doing my own thing?
No, well, I can answer that quite easily. So I'm always interested in, on how other people's lives are unfolding. And I'm certainly very interested, because of my LinkedIn connections with the likes of you and a whole host of other American people, that I'm very, very interested in, what's happening. So I try and follow as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I follow Fox and I follow CNN, which are complete different sides and
Yeah.
perspectives, which is, it's bizarre that you can listen to the same conversation. And the other one that I follow is Bloomberg's. So I kind of listen. So the one thing that doesn't cease to amaze me about American interviews is that people just seem to talk over each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Say what? Yeah. And one of the things that I learned many years ago is if you are in a conversation, give the person the time of day to make their statement, acknowledge it. You don't have to agree with it, and then talk about whatever you want to talk about. So that's the one thing that just blows my mind, is that people can have a conversation, and even on the not necessarily political interviews, but just hosts and people, everyone just seems to talk. So how can you answer a question if you haven't listened to the person before you answer?
Yeah. So Roy, what you're saying, I think is something that I'll give you an analogy. So my daughter, who plays basketball, right? What happened to her? Oh, yeah, she was sick a couple of weeks ago, right? She was sick. And so because she was sick, she missed some practice. And so because she missed practice, she couldn't play, right, in the next game. So she sat the game. And as she sat in the bench the whole game, and she's watching the game, she has this total different perspective of what's actually going on in the game, right? So she comes to me afterwards. She's like, Dad, yeah, we got issues. Like, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. And to your point, being on the outside looking in, I think all of us, as all of you guys right here that are watching this from the US or wherever you are, man, get friends across the globe. Make your world bigger so you can get different perspectives on what's going on. Because right now we're in the game. We're in the game over here. And as we're in the game, all we're thinking about is which team we're on. I'm on this team. I'm on that team. And boom, it's all this. Meanwhile, you're sitting in the stands or you're sitting on the bench and you're watching. You're like, So I think for me, it brings such balance to, and I kind of, and the proper context, I try to step out. I don't watch a lot of news and all that sort of thing, but it brings balance to me to have friends that have different perspectives because they live in a different life, a different world, and they're not so closely linked to whatever's going on in my world, right? And they don't, because what's going on in my world, and whenever you're in something, like, it's emotional, it's hyper emotional, and so because it's hyper emotional, it's not rational. You're not thinking rationally. So you get folks that are don't have that emotional connection. It's kind of like your therapist. That's why we go to a therapist, because a therapist, you're going through some shit, like, oh, everything's crazy. They're sitting over there just listening. They're not going through it, so they can be more rational and give you sound advice and give you better perspective. Ricardo says that that what we're saying is very true. Thank you, Ricardo. Anyway, Roy, what do you think about that? Am I on point?
You're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely spot on. And the other thing that I really want to just bring to the fore is, you go through life and you have associations with people. So and some people make an impact, and other people they just remain there. So you made a huge impact on me. You and I had a conversation some months ago about Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always seen myself as an enlightened white person that understands about a non-racial, not multiracial. In other words, that color is not important. But what you showed me is that through the eyes of a black person, that I never realized what black people go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very grateful for it, because it is a big wake-up call for me. So whilst I thought that I was very, very enlightened, you opened my eyes to what people go through. And as I say, I'm extremely grateful. It was a big life lesson for me. And I thank you for that.
Well, I'm equally as grateful for your openness and willingness to listen. Like it's a two-party thing here, right? Like what we see here in the States a lot when it relates to a lot of stuff that we've been going through and we're going through is that sometimes people like myself aren't necessarily willing to reach out and educate and talk about these things because it's uncomfortable and it's painful. Think about the worst thing you've been through in your life. You don't want to talk about it, right? You try to put it behind you. But in order for us to continue in the spirit of MLK and the folks that sacrificed their lives, in order for us to continue to carry on the legacy of this dude, we got to talk about it. This guy and many like him walked the streets and had dogs sicked on them and this is just the stuff that's on TV. Think about that. Think about that. You got television cameras and people are willing to release dogs and use fire hoses. What do you think happened when there weren't any cameras? So I'm saying people like that are willing to put their lives on the line, put their welfare on the line, put their jobs on the line, put everything on the line. The least that I can do is have a conversation with a willing ear and talk about this stuff.
Well, actually, I hear you and I share your sentiments, but when we had this conversation, I could hear the pain in your voice just talking about it. And I'm telling you this, that I felt your pain.
Yeah.
And that's, you have now become a person that has had an influence on my life.
Thank you, man. Another drink and I might start shedding some tears over here. What's up, Skylar? Skylar's one of my guys. Skylar, it's good to be back. For those of you guys that have missed the show, and I haven't been promoting it. We've just brought back, this is the second episode. We're just going to rock out episodes. I'm not so focused on promoting it as just having great conversations with my friends. And then we're going to take all this, we're going to put it all in the Business Bourbon Network to where you guys can go to one spot to go see whatever episodes, to go see whatever clips, to go get armed up with great information. This particular platform, the Drinking Buddies platform, we're going to have great people on like Roy that are specialists in certain areas. And we're going to ask some business questions that'll help you guys arm up. So it's not just going to be enjoying drinks as much as I would like it to be just doing. I want to make sure you guys get some value out of it for your businesses as well. So before we kind of get into a few of those questions, Roy, can you tell the audience what you and your business does?
Yeah, so I have told you this before, that I call myself a customer engagement strategist. So what that means is that instead of supplying promotional products, as most promotional product businesses do, I have got a complete different philosophy. I want to ask some questions before I suggest or propose any product. So what that means is I like to know what sort of outcome you want to receive, what sort of customer base you're targeting. And then what I try and do is, instead of just suggesting a product, I like to provide a strategy with the product. So in other words, a product cannot achieve anything if it doesn't have a strategy. So that's why I call myself the engagement strategist, because it's about engaging with your customers to see what it is that's going to give them an outcome, and then apply a product and explain the strategy to go with it. So that's what I do.
So that's one of the things that I love about you and what you do, and where we really vibe when it comes to marketing, because you are so intentional. Like, you don't, here's most people, and I know this is what you guys struggle with out there that are in business, entrepreneurs, whatever, is that we just throw shit up against the wall. Like, hey, I know I got to market. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's buy some of these. Let's get some brochures. But there's no psychology and there's no science in it. And quite frankly, as a guy that's been in the business world for over 20 years now, and an entrepreneur for 20 years, I can tell you that the people that I relied on, this is another reason why we vibe so much from a business perspective, is the people that I relied on, the marketing professionals, the people that were selling promotional products, they were clueless too, Roy. They're clueless. They just want to sell you some bouncy balls and some pins. And so with your logo on it, but there's no logic or science behind, okay, why are we doing this? How do we use it to get ROI? So I know a lot of you guys in business, you're struggling with your promotional products and your marketing products because they're not you're not getting return on the investment. You're not getting an ROI because there's no science, there's no logic, there's no plan. There's no plan. And so, Roy, that's what I love about you. And that's what we're going to get into a couple questions I got for you, because we're going to drop some gems. We're going to drop some dimes for you guys, like, to where you can go and you can activate like now. Because I want you coming out of this conversation, you've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi on right now of promotional marketing. So if you guys have any specific questions you got for Roy too, I want to know, because we're going to ask, because not just my questions, as Kathleen saying, product needs strategy involving real connection and knowledge of each other. I apply the same premise. Yeah. Yep. Lisa, Lisan. Am I pronouncing your name properly? Lisan. I like that. I hope if I'm screwing it up, I'm sorry. I apply the same premise when speaking about finance to clients. It's more helpful than pushing product on people. Absolutely. If you're pushing product on people, you're not providing a solution. You're not providing any value. Like, love that. Okay, Roy, first fire question for you. So what do you, when you, and this kind of goes into your philosophy and what you're talking about. What do you think? I don't know. I got a better one. Okay, here we go. All right. What do you think your focus should be when you're creating or trying to create a successful marketing promotion or campaign?
Well, very, very simple. There's a very simple answer to that. Is ask yourself, what do you want to achieve? And move aside the product. Don't think about products. Don't allow yourself to say, oh, I wonder if I could use this. I wonder if I could use that. Ask yourself, who is it that I want to target, and what outcome do I want to achieve? So those two questions.
So it starts with really understanding who the target is, who that ICP, the ideal client profile, right? Intimately. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then the second part is what do you want to achieve? So why I say this is because, so many people, as a stupid example, so many people, buy a Christmas gift and they send it out to everybody. So here's just a little sort of snippet of that. If you take a bottle of wine or a bottle of whiskey and that's what you're giving out, what about the person that doesn't drink? Have you thought about that? So there immediately I'm answering my own question and my statement, and that is, find out what it is that you want to achieve, look at your target market, customers, and see what it is that is going to be useful and it's going to be remembered by them, and then apply that. So in other words, it's a reverse engineer rather than the
Yes.
product.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Guys, taking notes, whether it is sales or it is marketing, you start at the end. What is the outcome that I want? And we work our way back. I love that. So next question. So what's the most successful promotion? Because you do a lot with promotional products. What's the most successful promotional product that you've seen for the small to medium sized business person?
Okay, there's actually two. The most useful and successful product that I've seen is the video brochures.
Talk about that.
And the reason that I'm saying that is because it gets the most engagement, and it's the most innovative. Because 99.99% of people that can't get in front of their ideal client are faced with the same dilemma. How do we get in front of our ideal client? We can email them, we can phone them, we can message them, we can do all sorts of things. And we all know that those are not innovative, and most people don't respond. If you receive a video brochure, you open it up, and inside, sorry if I can maybe just explain, a video brochure is bringing print and visual all in one package. So what it is, it's a paper brochure, a book that opens, and inside it is a little screen, and it plays a video. Now, if you can imagine that you want to get in front of Ronel, you've messaged him, you've phoned him, you've emailed him, and you haven't even got an answer. You haven't even had a response. Now, if you took this video brochure and you sent it to him personally with a personal note, inside the brochure, it's got a facility to load videos. You can load multiple videos. And you send a personal message to the person. Hi, Ronel, I'd love to have a chat with you. I wonder if you could follow what is going on in my business. And the next video is your corporate video that explains your business. And the third video is a testimonial about your business from somebody else. So the impact of a screen that plays a video to you is, for me, is the most innovative promotional product that I've ever seen, and I've seen the results that it's achieved for people. So that, to me, is the most powerful promotional tool that I've seen in my experience.
I love it. I love it. If you guys are interested in video brochures for your business, reach out to me. I'll connect you, Roy, and I have some. I love them. I love it. I love the concept. I've been so busy with the different things that we've been doing with our businesses that the only challenge that we've had is just making sure that we use it for the very best purpose. So we've got them lined up to kind of use video brochures this year. And what I love about them is the same thing I love about anything that's, well, let me back up. What I love when it comes to sales or marketing, period, and what I'm always focused on, and someday I'm gonna write a book and it's just gonna be called Advocates, because I use it. For those of you guys that listen to me or watch me a lot, or friends of mine, whatever, I use Advocates all the time because that is my focus, period. My focus is creating advocates. That is how you create great business, is by creating advocates for you and your business. And it starts before people are ever even customers for you. When you send, like what Roy's talking about, you send like a video brochure and someone gets that and it's personalized and they open it up and it makes an impact. Like that's how you started in building an advocate for you, because they're seeing you in a whole different light. I love the concept. I love the product. And again, you guys are interested, I'll connect you. Thank you. That was a great advice, Roy. All right, my next question. Oh, before I ask, let me ask, you guys got some questions? Dwayne, thank you. If you guys got a question for Roy, please make sure you pop it in here. Now I'm going to my next question. You know, the funny thing is, guys, like I have the shittiest handwriting. So before this, let me show you guys. That's get this. That's Ronell's horrible handwriting. So before the show, let me write down a couple of great questions for Roy, and I can't even read my own handwriting. All right. That's why usually when we're doing shows, this is why my hey Shelby, shout out to Shelby. That's why my event coordinator is so valuable to me. She's usually on the side, like giving me cues and writing stuff down and giving me. When I'm left to my own devices, I get this. I can't even read my next question for you, Roy, is what should blooded dumb find? All right. Let's what advice here? Okay, I'm going off script. Hey, I got a question for you. You're from South Africa. How long have you been in Australia?
I've been in Australia 12 years, literally in about 3 weeks' time.
Okay, real talk, y'all. Y'all know me. It's MLK Day, but Absolutely. That doesn't change for me whether it's MLK Day or it's the third Thursday in July. It doesn't matter. I'm all the same. My question to you is: you grew up in South Africa. And you grew up in South Africa when there was apartheid. What was that like?
Well, that's why I mentioned a bit earlier on, that I regarded myself as an enlightened, white person. I absolutely hated apartheid. Mm-hmm. I hated the fact, and that's a strong word, as you know. I hated the fact that one person, by color of their skin, could determine what they wanted other people to do. It was something that went totally against my grain. So I absolutely detested apartheid. I know it sounds very harsh, but the reality is I did. And I think I told you this once before, that they used to have an Easter soccer festival on one of the black grounds, as I'm in inverted commas.
Yeah.
And some of my black friends said to me, "You got to come and play." And I said, "I'd love to." And they said, "There's only one problem. They don't allow white people onto the field." And I said to these friends of mine, "I don't care, I'm coming to play." And I was the first white person to play on that field. And nobody objected, because they discovered that there were actually white people that sympathized with them. So it was not a pleasant experience living in an apartheid world, I can tell you that, as a white person.
Yeah, I can, I don't know what to say about that. I've always been curious. South Africa, what a different experience to the experience here and in our country in the civil rights movement, similar to very specific areas. So, for example, you look at an area like South Carolina, which is predominantly African American, and but you had white control, right? That wasn't the same across the whole country. Whereas in South Africa, that's what the demographic, that's what it looked like in South Africa. Like, it's like a whole country that's like South Carolina. So there's so many, and then once it's over, and then immediately, Nelson Mandela is president. So now you go, that whole dynamic of like full control to like, not only now answering to a black man who's president, like, I just can only imagine what that must have been like for everyone. And here we are, a couple decades after that, and there's still obviously tremendous issues in South Africa that they're trying to work through. Anyway, I don't have the answers. I just have questions. I'm just trying to stay up on my stuff.
I want to just add one thing because I think it's really important, and I think I can say this on MLK Day. Martin Luther King was, for me as an icon. He changed the world in his thinking. And why I'm saying this is because I also want to pay tribute to Nelson Mandela, because I don't believe that South Africa would have got through that transition if we didn't have somebody like Nelson Mandela. And the reason that I say that is because is that this is a man that had been in prison for over 30 years, and he came out with all the forgiveness in the world. And he managed to keep at bay millions of black people because he said we have to work together. And I don't think people realize the impact that had on a country that could have turned very ugly if we didn't have the right person at the helm. What a saint that man was. Absolutely incredible.
That's the one thing I've noticed. It seems that he's pretty universally loved. From my brief interactions with friends from South Africa. So thank God, right time, right place. Fortunately, just like MLK, he had to sacrifice a whole lot to get to that point.
100%.
Business. So Kathleen wants to know. Kathleen says she's curious about your opinion on logo mugs. She says she makes them. They're high quality. I know because we have some. We have them. But so, what's your opinion on like logoed promotional stuff, like mugs in particular? I don't think by calling her stuff mugs is not really mugs because they're art, man. They're handmade. But I'll let you answer her question.
Okay, so I suppose it goes back to what I spoke about earlier, is don't focus on the product, focus on the outcome. So that doesn't mean to say that, if you've got these logo mugs, and I'm assuming from what I understand, Kathleen, that these are handmade. So when you position these, look for the companies or the people that want to get an outcome that will work with your mugs. So what it means is, instead of selling the concept of the mugs, sell or promote the outcome that can be achieved using the mugs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, love it. Yes. Kathleen, makes sense? I'm sure Kathleen's saying yes.
So in other words, you see, and I'm just saying this so Kathleen can sort of, get a wider grasp of it. It's like going to a website and they've got 1 million different promotional products. And what they say when you arrive on the website, choose what you like and we'll give you a price. That's a transactional promotional company. Whereas, Kathleen, instead of saying to people, I do these unique mugs, because you're now talking about the product, rather focus on, I can show you what we can achieve with these mugs, rather than here's the mug. Okay, thank you, Kathleen. I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we're in the new year. A lot of folks this is their planning time. Like everyone's strategizing on how they're going to take over the world in 2021. What do you think? Is there anything in particular that you think that marketers should be focused on going into the year that's going to help them to be more successful, whether that be, a technology, a resource, whatever? What do you think they should bring their focus to? Or is there anything that's kind of new and innovative that they should focus on?
Well, I would say that probably for me, the best advice I can give, emerging businesses, because, the big brands, that's a different proposition. But emerging businesses like you and me and, most businesses, is instead of looking for a promotional product to be able to convey your message of your business. Rather look at smaller quantities of a combination of things that's going to be useful. So ask yourself, as you enter 2021, what is it that you want your customers to remember you by, and how you help them? And then, so in other words, again, we come back to reverse engineer. Look at the outcome that you want to achieve with your customers, and then bring it back to what can you give them that will achieve that. So I'm going to give you an example, because it probably would be easy. Is at this particular time, branded hand sanitizer is absolute gold. Okay, so instead of just thinking in terms of going to this, down to the store and buying some hand sanitizer, if you've got some small little bottles of hand sanitizer with a carabiner on that can clip onto a belt, can clip onto a handbag, can clip onto a school satchel, and you brand it with your company logo, think of the usefulness of that at this particular time. Somebody will be holding your brand in their hands every single solitary day, because people are using hand sanitizer the same as they put toothpaste on a toothbrush.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Hey, GM, we got you, man. I'm going to get your question answered. Before we go there, Roy, I love that. I am not a Roy Kowarski Jedi of promotional products and marketing. However, I have one rule when it comes to promotional products that I have had for over a decade, and over a decade because I wasted a lot of money prior to that. And that is, if I'm going to invest in a promotional product, it needs to be something that people need and use and give a shit about, right? It has to be practical. I'll give you a perfect example. T-shirts. I don't do cheap T-shirts. For those of you guys that have it. Some of you guys got the T-shirts, Business and Bourbon T-shirts. I'll grab one. Our shirts, high quality shirts. When you put this shirt on, I want it to feel like a piece of fashion. This is something that you're going to wear, not just when you are washing your car, cleaning your house, right? Because otherwise, it serves no purpose. Yeah, you can save some bucks on a T-shirt and print T-shirts for cheap and give them out give them out to everyone. But is the goal to just give people crap, or is it to give them something that's going to promote your product and service and what you do? All right. To Roy's point, I love that. Okay. So GM's question is for you, Roy. And he says, do you believe that partnerships increase volume in business customers? What's your feeling on partnerships, Roy?
Well, I use a different terminology. I call it collaboration. So I'm very, very, very much in favor of partnership stroke collaboration. Because if you think about it, if you have got a set of trusted partners stroke collaborators, it multiplies what you can do as you correctly pointed out there, GM, in business, customer, and sales. So I'm a huge advocate of partnerships and collaborations, very much so.
As am I. Although, Jim, you didn't ask me, but yeah, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. All right, guys, we're coming up to the top of the hour a little bit. So if you got any other questions, shoot them on now. Certainly respect you guys' time. And I want to encourage you guys to go to businessandbourbon.live, sign up for a membership so you are first in line when we roll out the new platform. It is free, all right? We're not charging you anything, but we have so much valuable content for business professionals. We got 3 years of just stuff. And so we're compiling all of this great content, all this great advice from business leaders like Roy, and we're going to put it on a platform to where you guys can access it, and you can level up, man. You can learn a few things. You can connect with them, and you can connect with the other folks that are already on our platform. So we've got a lot of people that are in the network, but we haven't really activated to the point of, where we're encouraging some great collaboration, so you guys get to meet each other and do some business with each other. That's what we're going to do, and that's what we're working on with the platform and the new rollout of the platform. Just making it easier for you guys to, for all of us, all of us to collaborate. To GM's point, to collaborate, to partner on some different business things, and to share knowledge. That's kind of what the Business and Bourbon platform is about in its foundation. Business and Bourbon started as something that was a platform for me to just share my truth, my experience in business and sales and marketing, and the things that I've learned along the way. Now it has evolved to what it is today, which is a platform for public and private events, which I'm grateful. It's been fantastic, doing really well, but we don't want to get away from our foundation, which is the people, and the people that helped us to grow these public and private events to what we've gone to what they've become. So we want to continue to connect you all and bring in our thought leaders, our influencers, our business leaders, and just really help each other to win. That's what it's been about. GM says, what is the website? GM, my dude, it's scrolling right down to the bottom. I'm giving you a hard time, man. But it is businessandbourbon.live. Businessandbourbon.live. If you guys haven't listened to the podcast yet, first of all, what the hell is your problem? Come on, man. Come on. Go to the podcast. The podcast is fire. It's amazing. It's 5-star rated. It's on Apple and every place. It has been for 2.5 years. And it's something like you've never heard. So if you haven't heard that, you haven't listened, go in there and check that out. All right, Roy, we're about to wrap up because you got to get your day started and I got to go to the gym. Yeah, guys, I know I had a hot toddy and I'm still going to the gym. That's what I do. Roy, leave us some sage advice and beyond business. Okay, you talked a little bit about this when we started, but I want to close with it because I want people to know from you what moves you, what gets you up, and what gets you going, and what fuels your success.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's the giving aspect, but I want to share this with you because I think this is a pretty good way to close out, and that is, I had this conversation with somebody else a couple of weeks ago, and when I thought about it afterwards, it is quite significant. My wish is that there's a reverse role in the world, that the haves become the have-nots, and the have-nots become the haves. So in other words, what that means is a reversal of people that haven't got. So more people that haven't got become haves. That to me is my wish in the world, is that people that don't have something.
I'll tell you what. Now you done opened up a whole can, Roy. You done opened it up.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have this conversation another time. I've got, I'm obviously off the show.
Wow. Okay. Roy, Roy, my friend, as always, it's, how much I enjoy our conversations. And so you guys know, like, again, we do this show. There are a lot of shows. There are a lot of lives and things out there, and people just randomly throw people on shows. They just do. And I'm not knocking the hustle. Do what you do. It's not what I do. When you listen to Business and Bourbon, the podcast, these people are on that platform because they have value, because they have wisdom, because they have experience, because they have scars. When you're watching this right here, it's because these people are my friends. So I say that to say that Roy and I, we talk regularly as we can, even though I screw it up because our time zone is like 16 hours, so I screw it up. I'm sorry, Roy. I'm telling you all, guys. Like Roy, my apologies. I screw it up. He never screws it up. But these are real buddies. He's a real buddy and a real genuine guy, and that's why I bring him on. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And again, sign up on the website. We're going to be putting all the content on there. We're a month or so out, and you can connect with Roy. Make sure you're connected with him on LinkedIn. If you are not already, please connect to him. If you have questions, I know that we had in the comments, Dwayne wants more information on the video brochure. So we got to get in contact with you, Dwayne. I'll make sure you get synced up. Anyone else, reach out. Roy, thank you, my friend. Cheers.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. I know you don't like that word, but you're a huge inspiration to me on LinkedIn. And what I can probably just finish off by saying is I'm very grateful that I can count you as one of my friends, and I think vice versa.
Vice versa. Absolutely. Thanks, buddy. See you guys.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
You too. See you.